Greetings and salutations, friends. I'm Prince Amari, and as a hypnotherapist, matchmaker, and love alchemist, I help gay singles transform their love blocks into relationship gold. And in this video, we're going to talk about one of the biggest internal obstacles that gay men, that men, period, actually face when it comes to receiving love. So, our culture conditions men to be providers in relationships. Before we even know what our sexual orientation is, for many of us, we receive messages. We are bombarded by messages from family, from friends, from culture, from media, from school, from literally everything around us, church, religion, that we are supposed to be providers in relationships. That our ability to be adequate partners for the people who we are romantically connected with, our ability to be, great fathers, our ability to be anyone who is an upstanding member of society, we are supposed to be providers. And what that means is our value in our relationships, in our families, in our communities is directly connected to our financial sense of security and abundance. And so in other words, for a lot of men, our self-worth is directly connected to our net worth. And if we don't feel like we have enough money, and this is like relatively, this isn't about how much money you make, this is whether you feel like, regardless of the amount that you bring in, if it is enough to support the life that you intend to live. And so if you live at your means or above your means, or if you feel like you are financially stretched or challenged, this often creates issues in your relationship that make you either not feel connected to your partner in the moment, or if you're single, not feel like you are ready or capable of having a relationship. You don't necessarily feel worthy of love if you don't feel like you have enough money to support a relationship in the moment. And so this is like a huge thing that I see with clients of mine. And so getting rid of that love block that is connected to money is like one of the primary things we need to do in order to allow love into our lives as men. If we believe that we are not good enough unless we have enough, we will always be in this perpetual cycle of not allowing ourselves to receive love even when it's right there in front of us. And we will always think that there is more work to do, that we have to get more education, get a better job, do all these other things before we can be lovable. And the number one belief that we have to have in order to allow love into our lives is that we are lovable just the way we are. So on a subconscious level, if we are programmed to push love away until we have enough money to feel like we are worth it, if we are programmed to not allow ourselves to accept any sense of affirmation, of love, of affection until we feel like we have enough money, it is going to always precipitate issues in relationships if we feel any sort of tension in our pockets. So the thing that we have to do, we have to look at those subconscious beliefs. We have to not only look at them and analyze what they are, where they come from, how they impact us, but we also then have to change that belief. Otherwise, anytime you're in a relationship and you have money issues, you're gonna feel distant from your partner. And you may have experienced this already in terms of attracting dates or partners who are emotionally unavailable or that live at a very long distance. This is often, in many cases, and this might blow your mind, but in many other situations where I work with people who tend to have a pattern of attracting long distance relationships or emotionally unavailable partners, it's because they don't feel like they are enough, one, but also that they don't feel like they have enough money in those times. And so what you'll notice, this might be true for you, just stand by and think about the things that I'm about to ask you. Whenever you do meet someone who you're really into and you feel like you do have the space and the time to get to know them and things develop nicely, was that time connected to a feeling of also having enough money at the time? Maybe you just got a raise at work or a new job or a refund check from taxes, or if you're in college still, from your financial aid, right? anytime that we feel like we have this boost of income and finances as men, it often allows us to open our hearts as well. And so you might have a pattern of, or you might notice the pattern of being in that space of comfortable groundedness financially when people tend to enter your life. And you might also notice whenever you're in a relationship, and things go crazy, or like I mentioned earlier, there's the distance, there's also a financial issue. And if it's for you, you might feel like you aren't worthy of your partner's love when you aren't making enough. And you might have noticed this on the flip side. Maybe you have enough money, but the person that you're dating or the person you're in a relationship with goes through a financial issue, and they also tend to withdraw, and you're like, I don't understand what's going on. Like, I got you, I got us, whatever. Like, what's the big deal? Like, we're still fine, but they don't feel like they are worthy of your love because they don't have enough money, or they feel on edge financially. So it's not always that you don't have any money coming in, but you can make $100,000 a year and be living right at or above your means and living on debt and credit cards, and you just feel financially stretched. Anytime we feel that way as men, because of our conditioning, it can make us withdraw, close our hearts to love, and even sabotage the love that we do have. And so you might be saying, I make good money, I'm comfortable about my financial situation, but I still don't have love. What then, right? So this isn't the only belief that keeps us from allowing love into our lives as men. It's just one of the core ones. There are still other beliefs. There are other things that might make us believe that we are unlovable the way that we are, and we still need to go in and shift those beliefs. If we don't change our beliefs, we don't change our realities, because what we believe about the world tells us exactly what we believe about ourselves, and tells us exactly what we will accept because of who we believe we are. So if you don't believe you're worthy of love, you won't accept love because you don't believe you're the person who deserves it. So we have to shift those beliefs. And we do that on a subconscious level because all of our beliefs, our emotions, even our habits live in the subconscious mind. And the subconscious controls about 95% of our lives. Our conscious mind, where discipline and willpower live, is only responsible for about 5% of our lives. Which means if we make a conscious decision that contradicts our subconscious programming, our subconscious is gonna win, but only 95% of the time. Right? So in order for us to really shift those beliefs, to shift the patterns that are connected to those beliefs of keeping love out of our lives, to neutralize those love blocks and turn them into relationship gold, we have to go into the subconscious mind to do that in many instances. And that is one of the reasons I became a hypnotherapist, because my expertise is going into the subconscious, shifting beliefs, shifting emotions that free us from the prisons that we don't realize we've put ourselves in, or that we've been conditioned to put ourselves in through our upbringing, through our culture. So that is the biggest issue that I find on a belief level in terms of not believing we are lovable as men, whether we're gay or straight, that keeps us from allowing love into our lives, or makes us sabotage the love that does come into our lives. If we don't believe we have enough, we often don't believe we are enough, and then we don't let ourselves receive enough from the world around us, from the lovers that are abundantly passing us by. We will ignore the love that's there because we don't believe we deserve it and we aren't worth it. So we can either neutralize that connection between self-worth and net worth, right? So if we disconnect my lovability has nothing to do with my money, or if we neutralize those blocks that are keeping us from making enough money in the first place, or that keep us living on the edge of our finances, or make us believe that every dollar I get in, I have to spend it before it's gone because we're uncomfortable with that space of peace. Like maybe we get addicted to the financial struggle, and so no matter how much money comes in, we keep creating more struggle. All of that is based on subconscious beliefs and subconscious patterns. And so we have to shift those. So if you want help transforming your love blocks into relationship gold, you can book a dating analysis with me at my website, amarimeanslove.com. It'll also be at the link in the comments below, or in the video description. And in the comments below, tell me what are some of the biggest challenges you face when it comes to love? What are some of the other beliefs perhaps that you recognize you have, even if it's not around money? What are some of the other things you know are sabotaging your ability to accept love because perhaps you don't believe you're good enough for it? So let me know that in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video. Love, peace, and glitter.